and welcome back to my build series on YouTube. This build is going to be my Magicka Nightblade build for the Summerset Isles patch. A few things have changed in this build, but it is heavily survivable. It's a very good build, and it'll get you through almost any content that you need to get through. Alright, so first of all, let's go over the skill. Let's go over the race. My race is now a Dark Elf for the extra flame damage. And I'm debating on taking Vampire off because the extra 100 recovery doesn't seem to matter too much, especially even with the new changes to funnel health cost and whatnot. So yeah, let's get into the skills real quick. So on front bar, the skills haven't changed. The only thing that has changed is the refreshing path is in place of twisting path. The reason being is just the utility it provides, and it's like the same amount of damage now. So I've got my execute on front bar. I've got funnel health because you need that siphoning ability on front bar in order to get your passive, which is the 8% max magicka. You could run the subject line skill, that will reduce your survivability a little bit, but you could run this if you'd like to. You would have to put you'd have to put twisting refreshing path on the back, and you'd have to put crippling grasp in place of that on the front in order to maintain your 8% max magicka. It would mess your rotation up a little bit too because there'd be a lot of bar swapping. I opt for funnel health because of the group utility. Testing wise though, and other types of content that aren't trials or whatever, I would usually go for elemental weapon. It's just really powerful. You'll parse higher on a dummy with it, but your survivability is taken down a little bit if you use it. Second skill is Merciless Resolve, or third skill I mean. This is like your own personal combat prayer, and it also, if you do 5 light attacks, it will proc a massive amount of damage through the spectral bow. It's a big part of your DPS. You need that. And like I said, twisting path. I've got inner light on both bars for the max magicka. And then I've got Fiery Rage as my my destro. They fixed the fire ultimate now, so it actually works as intended. You get the extra percentage of damage now instead of it not making that happen. So it's great. On back bar, I've got siphoning attacks. This heals you a little bit. And it restores a little bit of magicka every time you do a light attack, so it's every second basically. This is what you're getting, is healing and magicka return. And then when it ends, you get like basically 3/4 of a trash pot in return of magicka. So you want to make sure this runs completely out. Don't recast it until it's out. Crippling Grasp is your siphoning ability on the back bar. Crippling Grasp It does a ton of damage over time, and it does a little bit of upfront damage. It also gives you major expedition, so it's a good ability. Blockade of Fire. This can proc the burning status, and it gives you like 20% extra damage for that. So it'll bring your ticks up to a rate around 3,000 damage every 1 second, so you know, with a crit you're getting quite a bit of damage there. I double bar inner light for the max magicka passive, and then this is my shield, harness magicka. It doesn't cover all of my health, but it's enough. And if a spell projectile hits the shield, then it gives you magicka back, so it can it can give you quite a bit of magic back. And my ultimate, this is the bread and butter of the Magicka Nightblade, the Soul Harvest. It afflicts enemies with major defile, reducing healing received and health recovery by 30%, and it also increases your damage against any enemy that you hit with it by 20% for 6 seconds. It also gives you ultimate back for every enemy that's killed when you're on the back bar. So, I mean, it's not often, but yeah, you do get the ultimate return. With that, alright, let's go over the character sheet. So, this is everything unbuffed. Spell crit is at about 54%, 53, 54%. Spell damage is almost 2400. Almost, not quite though, have the max magic at 40k. We will have that once we gold out the rest of our set, but I have bad traits on, I think it's 3 pieces, or maybe it's 2 pieces of my Sororia, so it's not golded just yet. 64 points into max magicka. We're using Witchmother's Potent Brew. I mean, we could, here's the thing, we could use Clockwork Citrus Fillet, right? But it's the exact same thing as Witchmother's Brew, except you get the health recovery as well. Now, for me, health recovery doesn't matter at all, and the reason why is your healer should be taking care of that, number one, and number two, it just, with the Nightblade, you got Refreshing Path and Funnel Health to take care of that for you as well. So you could use this. I wouldn't recommend it. It's about, I mean, it's just a little bit extra max magicka and max health, like 200 each. So I mean, it's almost identical, and it doesn't really make a huge difference. You could though. It's expensive, so you know, use it at your own risk. As far as gear goes, on the front bar, I'm running Burning Spellweave. I recommend farming the staff if you can. On the back bar, I'm running an Infused Maelstrom Inferno with the weapon damage enchantment. Zan is now best in slot for the Magblade. I think it's for most magicka, actually. I recommend getting Zan. You get that from Scale Color Peak. It's a pretty insane set, really. It adds a lot of damage. The beam of flame damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. Every second it's increased by 50%. And then I'm using Sororia for my static set. Dealing direct damage with a single target ability creates a ring of fire beneath you for 10 seconds. Standing in the ring grants you a stack of Sororia's Boom for 5 seconds. Each stack increases your spell damage by 30, 20 stacks max. Okay. So just to show you how that works, I will come over here and I'll show you my stats fully buffed once I get this. So, okay. I can't really see the circle. Alright, I'll put the circle over here so it's kind of in the shade here and you'll be able to see it. So there's the circle. That's Sororia. You stand in that. And it gives you, the stacks add up pretty fast, honestly. So let's check out my stat sheet. Over 4k spell damage, fully buffed. It's pretty insane, really. And like I said, or I don't think I said it actually, but we are running the Apprentice. That's the one I parse the highest with. So that is the Mundus we're running. So that is my Magicka Nightblade video and build. I hope you guys found this useful. After this, I will show a parse with this setup. Take care, enjoy, and I hope this helped.
On a cold winter morning, in the time before the darkness is falling down, and the times are tough, alright. The sound of evil laughter falls around the world tonight. Fighting high, fighting on for the steel, through the wastelands evermore. The scattered souls will feel the hell bodies wasted on the shores. On the blackest flames in hell's domain, we watch them as they go. In fire and pain, now once again we know. So now we fly ever free. We're free before the thunderstorm. On towards the wilderness, our quest carries on. Far beyond the sundown, far beyond the moonlight, deep inside.